Not many people know this, but the PlayStation was originally supposed to be a Nintendo console, and the reason why it exists is because Nintendo screwed Sony out of a deal, effectively destroying their own monopoly on the video game market in the process. So in the 1970s, there was a huge boom in popularity of home video consoles in the United States with systems like the Atari 2600, ColecoVision, and Intellivision. But by the early 80s, the entire market went bankrupt, basically because of the failure of one specific game, the licensed tie-in video game for the E.T. movie. So all the video game companies in the United States were bankrupt, but by contrast, Japan's economy was historically booming and they had tons of video game companies. So they saw it as an opportunity to stage a land grab and basically become the world's #1 exporter of video games by going global. Most notably, Nintendo released the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1983, and it was a smash success. Not only was the NES popular and sold very well, but also because they were essentially first to market, they became synonymous with video games. Nintendo was video games in the 80s. And so Nintendo would get to work early, which, spoiler alert, would turn out to be a bad thing, on their next big console follow-up, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which released in 1991. But there was one problem with it. It was also cartridge-based like its predecessor, but the thing is that by the 90s, people were starting to move on from cartridges to a new medium called the CD-ROM. You could make way bigger games with way better graphics and actual recorded music on CD-ROM, which meant that essentially SNES was obsolete out of the gate. And the thing is, Nintendo already started to realize this before the SNES was even released, but instead of just scrapping the entire project and starting over, instead in 1988 they teamed up with Sony, which was an electronics company that made CD players, to create a CD-ROM add-on for the SNES that could play additional CD-ROM based games. And this CD-ROM add-on for the Super Nintendo was called the Nintendo PlayStation.